Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tu Yang. Thank you so much for joining me and for providing me with all the valuable feedback just within this last week. I truly appreciate it, and I do take everything into consideration as much as possible. So today we will be doing a special reaction. I will also try to keep up with my Dimash reactions on Monday, but for Thursdays and Saturdays we'll do whatever you suggest, and let's see what happens. So today we will be listening to Diana Ankudinova. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I've been seeing all the different comments regarding her voice, and so let's see what happens. Like with all evaluations and reactions for this channel, these are evaluation based, meaning that you will be getting whatever I am doing up here, and I will also be listening to this for the very first time. That's just how I like to do things, because sometimes I can't evaluate everything, and not everything needs to be fully evaluated. But anyways, as with all the videos, please go ahead and check out the actual performance before you watch this video, and when you come back, we'll go ahead and begin. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I have all the levels set, and let's begin.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Wow, what a beautiful, rich voice. I can hear all the not just the overtones, but when we sing, we have what is called, overtones, where the voice produces all these other pitches within its own context. And for me, when I listen to her voice, I hear a richness in the first, second, third overtones. So for example, if I'm on, so she's starting on that F, right? So in terms of the overtone series, we have F, this would be F3. The next note that we would hear in the overtone series when you sing this note is an F4, and then a C4, and then an F5, and so on. For her voice, I feel like I'm hearing a lot of fundamental, and then first, second, and third harmonic, and that's such what a really rich sound, and it's very rounded. It's great to also take advantage of the microphone, especially in these situations. And so let me actually just go back. I like to hear that first note. Just pointing out, we're not in a major key, right? Right, and that's the typical, or not typical, but really that's what the original would follow in the major key. But here we are in this dark minor key, which lends to even to the perception of an even darker tone. Overall, really great phrasing, great approach to the dynamics, and I love the very calm yet unexpected emotion. Like, I don't know where it's gonna go after this, so I'm tempted to push play, but let's just go back and evaluate this part. With high strings. Let me move this down the octave so you can... Actually, no, this should be fine.
Wise men say
nice there.
but I can't help falling in love with you.
What's really great is that when she sings that C, which is actually down here. Let me move this down the octave. So for me, as a bass, that'll be the equivalent of "But I can't help," and that it sounds like that's not the bottom of her range. And if we are looking more toward the contralto side, it would not be far removed to feel that that sound. And your mezzos can definitely beef up in that area as well. So very, very enchanting and haunting at the same time. Let's move on. But not there. You gotta love Logic, right? It has this loop that goes on. Let's move right to where we were. Here we go.
Wise man say, only fools ration, but I can't help falling in love with you.
So let's, before we begin the next phrase, I am really impressed at the control, and she gives you hints. The beauty of the microphone and the beauty of the contemporary performance when you get to use a microphone is that you get to take advantage. You have the advantage of all the minor nuances that would not typically translate in a classical setting, or in a setting of which your voice has to rise above the accompanist, above the orchestra. And so those nuances are quite lost, especially in a big performance hall, and even in literature such as some German lieder, or just art songs that are very, very intimate. You still have to maintain that sense of what do you call that? The integrity of the sound. Like you can't manipulate the vowel, because the vowel will pop out and it won't translate, or it'll be so out of place. And I like that in here she is really, really working those different colors, because I feel like I'm being drawn somewhere else. I feel I can hear snippets of what her voice can definitely be. It's kind of like when you meet somebody and you know that they're not giving, you can tell that they're not giving everything away just yet, and you know that they are probably a lot stronger than they look, or they have more to offer, and it's almost like an air of mystique that's going on here. So really, really great stuff. Piano, F minor, right? And you have that. So you have that harmonic minor. Just really, really going through it out here. So let's keep on moving. I'm really, I'd really like to see what happens in this next part. Let's go back just a little bit for the expression. Yep, that's the expression, right? Interesting. What is most impressive is the color of the voice, right? That's And we are used to hearing the soprano voice going up into that range, but to maintain that color from almost like that mezzo color range in here, and it's so beautiful, so thick and rich, with fundamental first harmonic, second harmonic, third harmonic, and those harmonics are so important to for me at least, to maintain that richness. And it's not to say that the other voices are lacking. It's more so to say that the other voices, camera's right here, right? I'm just so used to radio sometimes where I'm like straight ahead, but camera's right here. I'm so used to hearing, or we as a general audience, when we hear that voice where it has a lot of fundamental in that higher range, it's like, whoa, this is quite different, right? Not, you can see the judge standing right about here, right? Just standing and being in awe, because I mean, all the judges, it's just so different. And yet, for those of us that are in this realm or in this area of lower voices, this is very common, because that's where we live, right? Basses, baritones, contraltos, mezzos. It's just, that's what we have, and that's just what we can do. And to be able to bring it that high in the range and still maintain an integrity of sound is quite remarkable in that sense. So let's keep going. I think we are right here. Wow. Oh, no, that is quite unexpected to have that. We were just talking about overtones, first, second, third harmonics, fourth harmonics, and then the your singer's formant, which is around the 2 to 3K, 2 to 4K area. And I'd actually like to bring that up for you here. Let me see if I can pull up just an effect really quick. Is that it? So we are channel 1. Let's do, and this is just so we can see what's going on. Let's do just a regular EQ here, and I'll leave that right about here. Hopefully you can still see that over the piano. I know the piano's not really there. Let's go like that. Okay, I think that'll work. And let's push play again. Let's see if it'll register, and then I'll use this visual to just kind of help guide us a little bit in terms of where it goes. Hopefully it'll do what I want it to do. I didn't test this out, so let's just see what happens. Let's start up here. So let's see where that puts us. I lost my piano. Let's see what happens when I click this. Okay. And let's see where that registers. I'll pull up another EQ really quick here. And this will be the piano EQ. I'll make this a little bit smaller. It'll just kind of override me a little bit here on this side. Let's see where that goes for us. Right there in the between 300 and 400 hertz, you have that fundamental, and then your next one, which is roughly double that. See how much energy is there and there and there. Those are the fundamental sounds. And so when we sing, right around that 1K, notice how I'm promoting that. Obviously there's music going on as well, and if this sounds like it's a pretty good mix, so I can safely assume that this is mostly her voice on those pitches when she's singing. At the same time, what I am hearing is that her overtones are quite low, and that it almost feels like she's a baritone that's belting in a sense, or a tenor that's belting, because it has such a thickness in this range, and then the overtones are also slightly lower. And that's kind of the distinguishing mark sometimes, not always, but for the most part, when you have a different voice type singing the same pitch, is that our overtones for male voices are actually right around 2K, less than 3K, 2800, which is in this area right here. 25. It's marked at 25, but for us, it's usually in that area, and it slightly moves down and slightly moves up depending on the pitch. And female voices tend to be around 3K, maybe even higher, and then younger voices are even higher than that. And so it's really interesting to hear. I like to hear this in isolation, and that's just me, because that's how I work usually. And I would love to just really feel where this is going. But for the most part, just using your ears, you can really tell that timbre change is quite impressive. In terms of longevity, let's just hear more of her and find out, because there are some teachers may say, this is really low, this is really dark, is this truly what's going on? And I can't make a judgment call on that just yet. I can just say wow for now, and that's just very, very impressive in that sense. Let's keep moving. So there it is, like that, those lower overtones, and then watch the timbre change into a mixed. So right there. And what's impressive is that that doesn't even sound high. So really, really great things. I think she goes all the way up to that B flat 5, and she sings all the way down to a C3. Oh, sorry, C3. There it is. And so, thank you so much for sharing this with me. Hopefully, you were able to grab something that I wasn't able to grab, and hopefully, I also pronounced her name correctly, or as close as I can, approximation or whatever. If you really enjoy these videos, I'd like for you to just continue watching, keep commenting, because that's how it's going to change. That's how I make changes, and that's how I'm going to keep bringing you content, is through your comments, through your sharing, whatever you can do. It's always greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for Saturday, I believe, Jeff Castellucci, the bass from VoicePlay, and we'll do a random video. Maybe I'll just grab one from YouTube really that morning, and we'll just go for it. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.